Hi everyone, so Sephora has landed in the UK and I am super excited. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm not quite sure how much difference it's going to make to the UK because obviously the US get everything before the UK, and even though Sephora has landed, that does not mean that is going to change. However, I am hoping that a few new brands are going to enter the UK market. The one brand that I was really excited to try was Sephora's own brand. So I have picked up a few pieces and we are going to try them in this video. I have a couple of the foundations. One of them I don't think is available in the US. We may have got something first for once, or this may be a UK exclusive. I have no idea. So this is the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation and the Sephora Best Skin Ever Glow foundation. I also have the new Best Skin Ever concealer and also the Sephora Smoothing Primer. So we are going to get straight on with it because I have a hairdresser's appointment in a couple of hours and I have all this to cover up. A few hormonal issues this morning. It's really nice living here with me right now. So if you're new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload new content on YouTube every single week. I like to keep it real on this channel. If this is how I look, this is how you see me. I would really appreciate it if at some point in this video, if you are finding it helpful, please consider clicking on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. So I only picked up 4 products this time, but I am really looking forward to trying a variety. They do some skincare in the Sephora range as well, so I will be getting my hands on some of that, you can guarantee. Let's have a look at the Smoothing Primer first of all. I'm just going to pop a little bit on the back of my hand to see how much comes out because I don't want to apply too much. So the consistency of this is actually quite runny. It's not really a massive silicone consistency, although when you feel it, you can tell there's silicone in the formula, but it is quite a loose silicone formula. So it's definitely not heavy at all. Said I wasn't going to apply too much of that, and then I've applied the entire lot to my skin. Oh, it feels nice. Definitely smoothing. I'm going to take a little bit off my chin because that's my oilier area anyway. Oh, this feels so nice. Pop a little bit underneath my eyes. I have prepped my skin already. So I've done my usual skincare routine, pat that over my skin, just to remove a little bit of the product. I actually don't think that in hindsight I needed to remove any of the product because unlike other primers that I've tried with this consistency, it doesn't sit on the surface of the skin, this actually sinks in. So this still feels like my skin, but way smoother, you know? It did have that slip to begin with, but now it's had time to sink in. There isn't that residue sitting on the surface of the skin anymore. It feels really, really nice. So pleasantly surprised by the primer. Let's get some of the foundation on. I am going to put the Best Skin Ever on this side of my face. Hopefully it will do a good job of covering this bad boy up. I'm not going to put any concealer over that beforehand, just so we can see the level of coverage that we can get from this foundation. And then I'm going to put the Best Skin Ever Glow foundation on this side of my face. I'm going to go through a little bit of bump as I'm applying this, but yeah, let's get some on. So this is the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. It's in a lovely frosted glass bottle. It does have a pump. It's £17.99 in the UK, but you only get 25 mils, which is 5 mils less than standard. I think £17.99 is more of a mid-range product. It's definitely not drugstore. It's definitely not high-end. It's somewhere in between, a little bit like number 7 prices. You get 48 shades in this to choose from. I've gone for the shade 10N, which I'm really hoping is my shade because I'm wearing this all day. It's supposed to be medium buildable coverage with a flawless yet natural looking finish. It's also supposed to be long wearing. It has lots of antioxidants in the formula, and it's also hydrating with glycerin, squalane, and sodium hyaluronate. This does contain a bit of alcohol, but it is fragrance and essential oil free, and it's also vegan and cruelty free as well. So the consistency of this on the back of my hand was quite a stiff consistency. This is so easy to stamp into the skin, and I think I've done quite a good job of getting a shade match, even though I obviously chose my shade online because there are no Sephora stores in the UK as yet. That may change next year, but at the moment, nowhere to get any swatches of this particular foundation. Really, really like that. Look how beautiful that is on my skin, and look how it's covered that spot on my cheek. I mean, everything, all my redness has gone, and I think that is decent coverage for one layer of the foundation. Really beautiful to apply, and I think the sheen on this is so lovely. It did exactly what it said it was going to do. This is very, very skin-like. So usually I wouldn't want to build this level of coverage. I think this is decent for one layer, but as we're trying out the foundation today, let's just add another layer just over any areas with imperfections, just to see how it covers with the second pass. So this is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Glow Foundation. This one comes in a clear glass bottle, and once again it does have a pump. Again, this is $17.99 for 25 mils, but this one only comes in 24 shades rather than the 48 shades of the original Best Skin Ever foundation. I've gone for the same shade in both of these foundations, 10N, but I do think there's a slight discrepancy in shades. I think the Glow Foundation is slightly more yellowy than the original Best Skin Ever foundation, but we'll see. This is supposed to give medium coverage with a radiant glowy finish. It's formulated with light reflecting pigments, and it's supposed to be long wearing. This is a hydrating formula with glycerin and sodium hyaluronate. It does contain alcohol, but it is fragrance and essential oil free. So I'm not quite sure why, but when I was looking at the UK website for Sephora, all the information for this particular foundation was in French. I had to translate it from French. There was no mention on the website of this being vegan and cruelty-free. That may be incorrect though, because I did think all of the Sephora products were cruelty-free. If you have different information from me, please let everybody know in the comments section. Okay, so this is also beautiful. It has a slightly different finish. Obviously, this is more of a radiant finish, but it still looks natural on my skin. It's still just made everything look really skin-like and beautiful and just flawless. I don't know which side I prefer. I think I'm probably verging on the glow side, which at the minute is not like me. Probably because I can still see this imperfection here, but we'll see if my mind changes when I go in with a little bit of concealer when, you know, I do the rest of my skin. This is actually really quite exciting. Just looks beautiful. Really, really lovely. I definitely prefer the glow side at this moment in time. Let's get some concealer on though, because can all change in a heartbeat, as you've all seen before. So this is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer. There is actually a glow version of this as well. I didn't see it in time. I am kicking myself for not picking that one up as well, because I could have had glow on one side, original on the other. Anyway, it is what it is. We're just trying this one out today, but mark my words, I will be buying the glow version of this concealer as well. So let's just do a little bit of bump on this whilst I get this on. So this costs £14.99 in the UK, and you get 5 mils worth of product, which I think is okay, but I do think in the US you get more product for your money. Not quite sure why, but I think that is the way that it is. This comes in 26 different shades. I've gone for the shade 08. It's supposed to give buildable natural coverage, and it's supposed to be long wearing, and this says that it will not settle in any lines. Well, we will see. So the concealer comes in a clear glass tube. It has a flat applicator which has a lot of bend to it, which I really like, although I never really put concealer directly on my skin anyway. I like to put it on the back of my hand to warm a little bit before I apply it to my skin. The consistency of this is actually quite loose, which I really, really like, and has surprised me a little bit because of the foundation consistency being quite thick. I was expecting this to be the same, and it's not. Anyway, let's see whether 08 is a good shade match for me. I think we can say that it is. Now, usually I would go in with a colour corrector before I went in with concealer, but I just wanted to see the level of coverage that this gave. This is really nice. Now, I do need a colour corrector because this isn't giving me a punch of coverage, but it's definitely medium coverage. I'm going to use a colour corrector on this side and see if it makes a difference. So I'm just going in with my Clinique Even Better colour corrector in Peach. Just pat that in over that darkness there and just let that dry down for a little minute. I am going to go in with a second coat just on that darkness there on this side now it's dried down, and then we'll see how it goes on over the colour corrector. This is such a nice concealer. I'm impressed so far, but you know, I haven't worn it for long, so this may be short-lived. Okay, now the colour corrector has dried down. Let's go over the top with the concealer. It's blending in nicely. There's no problems applying it over the top. Really like this concealer. I am seriously hoping that this concealer wears well, because at the moment it looks and feels so lightweight and extremely natural. It's giving me Lancome all over concealer vibes, and you all know that is my holy grail. So you can understand the level of my excitement right now. Okay, so I actually like both sides. I like the colour corrector with one coat of the concealer, but I also like 2 coats of concealer, which isn't really 2 full coats. It's 1 coat and then just going over the areas that needed a little bit more coverage. But I think both sides look lovely, really beautiful. I'm gonna go and put the rest of my products on, and I'll be right back. So that's the final look for today, bar having my hair professionally done, and as I am leaving in around about half an hour to go to the hairdressers, I didn't want to straighten my hair and heat style it in any way when I'm just about to have bleach added to it. This is how we're turning up at the hairdressers today, and we're going to hope for the best. I am super impressed with all of the products that I've tried today. Both of the foundations, the concealer, even the primer, and you all know that I am not a huge primer fan. I don't find it essential for every single day of the week. This one, very, very nice. I will use it again. It feels weightless on the skin, doesn't suffocate my skin, and actually does the job of smoothing the skin. Beautiful, beautiful canvas for the rest of your products. Loving these 2 foundations. I think my favourite at the moment, and I will leave a pinned comment at the top of the comment section letting you know how these both wore throughout the day, because I'm not going to have time to check in a little bit later on, but I will let you know my final thoughts in that pinned comment. I think my favourite at this moment in time is still the Glow. Slightly less coverage than the original, but I just think it's a nicer, more flattering finish on my dry skin. The Best Skin Ever foundation is beautiful though, and this is giving me Estee Lauder Double Wear Light vibes. The original Double Wear Light. If you are trying to find a replacement for that, if you're coming to the end of the bottle and it's been discontinued so you're not going to be able to get another, try this out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think it looks lovely on my skin. Just, really beautiful. Doesn't sit as nicely on my super dry areas, but on my sort of normalish dry skin, it's absolutely stunning. Love them both. The concealer is beautiful underneath my eyes. This has not creased at all. I know it hasn't been a long time since I applied it, but usually if a concealer is going to crease on me, because I have a very expressive face, it would have creased by now. So I am seriously, seriously impressed. This one has actually shocked me. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it actually is. I have set this in place because I am going out using my Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder in the shade Cherry Blossom Cake. Lovely, lovely powder that. Definitely recommend it. It's set really beautifully. Took off a little bit of the sheen on the surface, obviously with it being a powder, but I still like the overall look. This is enough coverage, but if you like a full coverage concealer, this probably isn't going to be for you. I would say I got a low full coverage with 2 coats of the concealer, so that's just something to bear in mind. This is a really good medium coverage concealer with just 1 coat. I just think it's lovely. Really, really nice. Very impressed. My main positive about both of these foundations, not only do they look really beautiful on my skin and just make everything look a lot more flawless, but also they don't leave that tacky residue on the surface. I feel like I can touch my face without any of the foundation lifting. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel like it's just sitting on the surface of the skin. This has really sank into the skin, which is why it looks so skin-like. So really loving both of these. definitely recommend you check them out. If you haven't looked at Sephora UK yet, definitely recommend that you do. There are plenty more Sephora collection products to choose from, not just the ones that I've featured in this video today, but because of the quality of the products that I've tried today, I personally can't wait to try more of the Sephora collection, and I will let you know how I get on in future videos. If we get the same sale that they get in the US, and I'm keeping all fingers crossed that we do, then Friday the 28th of October, which is the day this video goes live, there should be 30% off the entire Sephora collection. So if that is the case, run as fast as you can. I definitely, most definitely, these 3 products definitely recommend. Amazing. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful in some way. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.